Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and well, I wasn't expecting to make this kind of video today, but yes, Christian Horner is under investigation at Red Bull after an allegation by a staff member. I would just like to say before I continue, this is YouTube and the lawyers are always watching, so I will just say that this is an allegation. None of this has been proved as true, and Christian Horner says he completely denies all these claims. I just want to get that in before I continue. Okay, let's go to The Guardian then, the bastion of the UK press, and see what it says. So there you go, Christian Horner under investigation at Red Bull. The Red Bull team principal, Christian Horner, is under external investigation after an accusation regarding his conduct was made by another member of staff at the Formula One team. Horner has emphatically rejected the allegation, which was widely reported as relating to inappropriate, controlling behaviour. The 50-year-old, one of the most successful team principals in modern F1, who has overseen 6 Constructors' World Championships and 7 drivers' titles at Red Bull Racing, said, "I completely deny these claims." Red Bull, the Austrian energy drinks company which owns the F1 team, confirmed an investigation is taking place. And I can also confirm now from the British press that this investigation has been going on for the last 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And it's an outside investigation as well. Now, the thing we got to think about is the Red Bull car launch is on the 15th of this month. If Christian Horner is there, that means he's got the full backing of the Red Bull team. So we will have to wait and see. After being made aware of certain recent allegations, the company launched an independent investigation, it stated. This process, which is already underway, is being carried out by an external specialist barrister. The company takes these matters extremely seriously, and the investigation will be completed as soon as practically possible. It would not be appropriate to comment further at this time. There has been no further comment from the Red Bull Racing team as yet. Horner is the longest serving team principal among the current 10 F1 teams. He was brought in to run Red Bull when the Jaguar team was purchased by the energy drink company in 2004. It was his first role in F1, having previously founded and then run the Formula 3000 Arden team. When Red Bull brought him to take over Jaguar, it had been struggling in the midfield at the time, but Horner has since managed a remarkable success story and expansion of the team to one of the largest in F1 that now also manufactures its own engines. He was instrumental in bringing the designer Adrian Newey to Red Bull in 2006. They took their first win in 2009 and their first title in 2010 with Sebastian Vettel only 5 years later after Horner had taken over. The German driver went on to secure 3 more consecutive championships. So there you go. There's the allegation. Christian Horner denies it. I was trying to translate something from the German press earlier using Google Translate, and I was getting a right mucky puddle. I'll tell you, I'm right mucky because Google Translate is not the best. Someone on there said that Christian Horner's already been asked to step down. That is completely untrue as of this moment. He has not been asked to step down whatsoever. It is still an ongoing investigation, and only when that investigation is concluded will the results come in, and then the appropriate action will be taken. So at the moment, Christian Horner is still the team principal at Red Bull, and after the 15th of this month, I quite expect that will continue. That will continue. But so there you go. Certainly wasn't expecting that. I'm just trying to get my head around what this actual complaint is. I don't know. It just seems a little bit funny to me. Not quite sure about what the conduct. Now, I do understand it was a female staff member, which is always a little bit more tricky than a male staff member, unfortunately. So, but we will have to wait and see what happens. Now, of course, if Christian Horner is sacked from Red Bull, I say if with a gigantic if, because personally I don't think it's going to happen. But if he is, that's going to leave an enormous hole in the whole of the Red Bull team, an enormous hole that needs to be filled. And there's only really one person for the job, Günther Steiner. But no, seriously, I don't know. That could be an absolute disaster for Red Bull if that happens. But I'm 99.9% sure that isn't going to happen. I'm pretty sure that isn't going to happen. But if it does, I say it'll be a huge bombshell and could possibly be the end of Red Bull in the fact of being a front-running team, because Christian Horner leads from the top, and if he's gone, then someone else will have to come in, and it'll take years and years to bring that team back up again. So it could be an absolute disaster for Red Bull. But as I say, 99.9% convinced that that isn't going to happen, and I'm sure these allegations, well, possibly there might be some ramifications from this, but I'm hoping that Christian Horner will get away, and the report will come in and it will find that the allegations were unfounded, and he will continue his team principal role. The only problem with this, of course, is the old saying about mud sticks. If there's any kind of doubt whatsoever, and I mean just a 1% amount of doubt, unfortunately Christian will have to go. Very, very sad, but you know, that's what happens, unfortunately. And the way the world is right now, it's trial by social media, unfortunately, with everything going on. And yeah, if there's a tiny bit of doubt, you know, Formula One's a big business. Red Bull is an enormous company. They could not carry that through if there was a tiny bit of doubt. So he would have to go. But as I say, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. So there you go. Allegations at the moment against Christian Horner. Yes, I was just saying earlier, last week, nobody was talking about F1. It was a complete dead issue. And now we've had this explosion over about the past week and a half. What with Lulu going to Ferrari, and now we've got this as well. It all seems very convenient, doesn't it? Very convenient to have a nice bit of news like this when there really isn't anything else going on in Formula One. But so that's just the old conspiracy theorist in me. But anyway, there you go. We will look at that and see how it progresses. Right, so that's the story of the day. Now it's time to go on to the second part of this video, which is the liveries, because of course two teams have launched their liveries today. The first one is Sauber. Yes, so let's have a look at that one then. And so, oh my goodness gracious, bloody good gold. What the fucking hell is that garbage? My God. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrendous. That is just absolutely horrendous. I think we've only got one picture of this because I'm on the official Formula One. Oh no, we got another one. Here we go. There's oh my God. Let me know in the comments, everyone, what you think of that one. But that's just, why on earth did they pick green? I mean, green and black, to be fair, goes together quite well. It does. But it just, for a Formula One car, it just looks horrible. Now, as you can also see, but I don't know what design of car this is. This could be the 2023 car. But if this is the new 2024 car, you can see very little changes from last year. From what I can see, obviously there's going to be little tiny changes, but fundamental changes, of course, it's not going to happen, because this is the design of the Formula One cars that we're going to have for quite a few years, I do believe now. So yeah, I think 2026 they're going to do a slight revision when they get the new engines. There's going to be a little bit of change, but apart from that, this is what we're going to get for 24 and 25 anyway. But oh my God, that looks horrible. Kick Sauber have unveiled their 2024 Challenger, the C44. I'll tell you what, I don't know about C44. You should blow it up with some C4, to be honest, because that is just horrendous. Someone get a claymore and stick it underneath, Call of Duty style. Bang. Done. Because that's just, oh my God. That's just horrible. That really is. Is there any more picture? No, that was it. What on earth were they thinking? I mean, that's not the worst livery I've ever seen, I must admit. But it's definitely getting up there. It's just horrible. Just horrible. Just try and look at some of the sponsors. Of course, we got steak all over the car now. Sponsors look... I can't really remember, to be honest, because no one really remembers the team sponsors at Sauber, do they? Or Alfa Romeo, as it was, to be honest. But so I wouldn't even know if they got any new sponsors or not. But there you go. There is the new Sauber. Yes, of course, for 2024 and 2025, and of course in 2026, Audi will be taking over. And I'm pretty surprised they didn't start to introduce some Audi colours. You know, that would have been an ideal opportunity to get a bit of Audi into the colour palette for the next 2 years before they take over. You know, it could have been like a little... You remember like the little countdown, I think it was, that you had on the Arrows car? Do you remember that? On the orange Arrows? It was the... I think it was the countdown to actually being orange arrows, wasn't it? Because the cars were still in black and it had like days ticking off. Do you remember that back in the day? Maybe not, but anyway. Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? They could have done that with the Audi colour scheme. Just slowly over the next 2 years introduce, you know, tiny little bits of colours of the Audi colours to the scheme over the next 2 years. But sadly, you blew it. You blew it. That's just horrible. That is yucky, yucky, yucky. Okay, so on to the second livery, and we've got the Williams livery. Now, unfortunately, I think I've only got one picture of this. Yes, I have only got one picture of this. So there it is. There's the Williams livery. Not much change, I think, from last year. They've still got the classic black and blue with little white indents, and you've still got the Duracell battery logo on the airbox, the air intake, so that looks pretty decent. Once again, I don't know whether this is the 2023 car just mocked up with the new livery or whether it is the 2024 car, but once again, as I said, it doesn't look very much different from last year's car because, of course, you know, the development's going to stay pretty much static now until a few years into the future. So that it's not looking too bad. The Williams got a nice Komatsu logo on the side, My Protein as well, as say Duracell's up there. I think most of their sponsors look pretty much the same as last year. As I say, you know, with a lot of these, I mean, let's face it, these are the back marker teams, to be honest. A lot of the sponsors on there, you really wouldn't, you know if they'd change any sponsors really, because we don't really take much notice of the lower teams. It's a sad fact, but it's also a true fact. We don't really, you know, bother too much. So, but yeah, a fairly decent car, to say. Now, is this the two drivers? I can't remember. Yes, it is. Of course, Logan Sargent on the right-hand side. And Alex Albon, of course, is going to be the other driver for Williams for 2024. Now, Albon's tipped to take over Lewis Hamilton's seat at Mercedes for 2025. Frankly, I don't think that's going to happen. No, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. But there's a lot of conspiracy theories about who's going to get that other seat, but I definitely don't think it's going to be Alexander Albon. But of course, as I said in the previous video, there's so many drivers up for contract renewals after the end of the 2024 season that it's going to be a merry-go-round for 2025. 2025 is going to be a very interesting season. And unfortunately, everyone just wants to get this season out of the way now to see how Lewis goes in the Ferrari. It's unfortunate, but we've got a whole Formula One season to go before Lewis goes to Ferrari, you know. But what can you do? And I'll say everyone's just like, oh, come on, get rid of this one. Let's get on to 2025. Because 2025 is going to be interesting. As I said in one of my previous videos, I think there's 10 drivers' contracts run out at the end of 2024. A huge merry-go-round. They're going to be all over the place. I do believe that the drivers are going to be all over the place. And of course, we've got that all-important Mercedes seat, which no one knows who's going to fill it yet. Of course, Toto's going to be in no rush to suddenly sign someone. But of course, he has got a lot of money in his pocket now because he hasn't got to pay the extraordinary Lewis Hamilton pay demands. So he's going to have quite a bit of spare change in his back pocket. So what's he going to do? Is he going to go for a top flight driver? Is he going to try and wrestle Lando Norris off McLaren? It is possible. A lot of people, some people in my comments have been saying that, you know, he's under a long-term contract. That doesn't exist anymore, long-term contracts. If you've got enough cash, you can buy anyone out of their contract. It happens all the time, and it could happen. So Toto could go or try to get Lando Norris from Zach Brown. It's going to be a very tough ask. I think it may actually go into the 100 million bracket to actually achieve that, but who knows. Anyway, I'm just foreshadowing next year. We will find out. And there is the livery for the Williams car. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. You have been awesome as always, and I'll catch you in the next video.